Yeah, good morning. So let's start the next day's class. So as always, we will first log into training.rejola.com, and by now, if you have been signing into training.rejola.com, you'll see that this URL slash software will come. Training.rejola.com slash software. So you can directly go to this URL where you will come into the sign up page, or if you are new to coming into training.rejola.com, you can still go to training.rejola.com and click on sign in at the bottom. So there is sign in over here. So when you click on sign in, it basically goes to the URL called software. So you can even directly come here from next time. So once you come here, you can log in with your user ID and password. Okay, so when you log in with your user ID and password, as always, you'll have to be truthful to yourself if you are investing correctly in all these 6 areas. As I said, I'll be dedicating another class just explaining about these 6 areas in future. So once you come here, you can see that yesterday I have been able to clock 0.19, and that reason it reduced a bit from the previous day is because I made a mistake of having this window as one of the tabs. So let me not repeat that mistake, so I'll keep it outside. So I'll keep it as a separate window instead as a tab, so that the clock does not stop, because Chrome sometimes to save the resources, it stops certain JavaScript. So to allow the clock to keep running, I'm keeping it as a separate window itself. So now let me log into the project and I'll start my session. So here I'll say that I'm going to do it till about 9:20. That's the plan that I have. Psychologically, I'd like to say that I'm going to do this particular session till about 9:20. And today, what are we going to learn today? So let us see what we're going to learn. So if you come here, the content, okay, we can even see that here also. So we have done, we are going to do div today. We're going to start with div. That is what we told yesterday. So I'm going to do HTML div. So that is what I'm going to learn. That's what I'm going to start with. So I can say load success platform and click on OK here. Okay, so coming back to the content part. So you can see that we had completed till footer. We discussed HTML head, body and footer in the previous video. And today we are going to discuss about div. And what is div? So what we will do is I will open the PowerPoint file that I created yesterday to explain the website layout part. So I'll open that so that we can discuss with the same file. It will be easy to follow. So we discussed that this is an overall layout, and we discussed that a head portion is not seen to the user, but the developer or the website creator, he puts all the information over there, or she puts all the information over there. And the bottom portion or the body portion is what the users of the website actually see. So we are seeing different portions here with different areas which we called as header and footer, and then different areas. Now in HTML, the way you will separate each of these sections, most of the time, predominantly it is by this element called div. Okay, this element called div, div. In fact, we also saw yesterday in W3 schools, we saw about HTML when they explained about what is HTML. Okay, when they explained about what is HTML and they showed the layout. Okay, so if we come here, you will see they showed the entire layout here. This one, okay. Anyway, so here you can see body is there. Div is not there here also. Okay, fine. Yesterday's layout, what we discussed yesterday. Let me see if I can find it. So what is HTML browser? Yeah, here. So this is the layout that we discussed yesterday, and here you can see that these three tags are being used, or two tags. This is repeated twice here. So H1 P tag, that is paragraph tag, which is a heading 1 tag, which basically makes it pretty big. It makes this particular text very big as a heading, and this is a paragraph tag. Usually what happens is this entire content here, though it is inside body, it is usually enwrapped or enclosed inside a div element. Okay, you place a div element here, and you create this entire content. That's how it is usually made. So the reason why they are not using it here is because they are yet to come to that div element and all that. That's why they are not using it here. But otherwise, this is where you would use div to separate this particular block. So yesterday I also mentioned that we would be starting off with coding. So we will do that today. Okay, we will use a text editor to start writing the website. So what we will do is, let me come and make an update here. Okay, so first of all, let me load my HTML div, and end time should be a future time. Sorry. Okay, 9:25 a.m. I think what I'll do is I'll just select 11 a.m. Yeah, I think the challenge there is it is taking, so that's a bug in the software. I probably need to fix it sometime future. So I think if you're updating within the hour, it is taking as a previous time. So I'll have to fix that probably sometime in future. Okay, so you will have to basically select at least more than an hour for it to work correctly. So that's that's how you can solve this bug. Okay, now coming back to what we were saying. So what we will do right now is we will start with a text editor. Now, which text editor do you use for creating websites? Now, what is a text editor? Text editor is basically even Notepad. What you would use. A Notepad also can be used for creating a website. For example, if I want to create a website, I'll just make it like this. I'll create the HTML tag, and then we know that on the top there has to be a head tag, and then below that there has to be a body tag. Okay, now I'll just write hello training. Okay, now this itself is a website. I have put the HTML tag from top to bottom. I have put the head tag on the top. I have put the body tag here, and I have just mentioned hello, a text over here between the body tag. Okay, so now let me save this. Okay, and let's open this in a browser and see how it works. So yesterday I created a folder training. Okay, so what we will do is we will save another folder, create another folder called examples, and we'll save this. I usually save my files with the dates so that it's easy for me to remember. So 2020, 07 is the month and 15 is the date. So it gets sorted also in a particular format. So it's easy to go back to a particular file. So this is HTML intro, and we are also going to do div. And the one thing that you need to remember here is when you're saving the file, okay, you have to change the save as type to all files, because you should not get a .txt, because if it is a .txt file, it will not be recognized as a website file. Okay, so you have to change it to all files dot, and then change here to HTML. Okay, so HTML, as we know, is a hypertext markup language. So once you change the extension as HTML, automatically this file will be recognized as a website file by the computer, and when you try to open it, it will automatically try to open it in the default browser of this computer. So I'm going to save this, and let me open the folder. So now coming to the folder, if I go to desktop and if I go to this particular folder where I created examples, you will see that the computer has already recognized it as a web page or a website because I have put this extension as HTML. So in fact, you have already, now with this, if you create this on your computer, you have already created a website. Only thing is it's pretty basic or it's pretty simple. There's hardly any code in it. Okay, but let me still open it and then show you how it looks on a browser. Okay, so when I double click this, so you can see here that the website is working. Okay, the website is already working, and however it has come here. So let me remove it from here so that that particular thing is, and we'll put it back here. Okay, so let's put the tab here. Okay, so you can see that the text is already coming. Now you may wonder, if the text is already coming in the browser, why do I need a div tag? The reason you need a div tag, so let me put a div here and then let's see how it appears. Okay, so so I have basically put the hello training inside div tag. Okay, that's what I have done. So now when I save this and I have to reload this because it does not refresh by itself. Now let us see if it has refreshed by itself. Just come to view page source as we discussed yesterday. So when you see view page source, it has refreshed by itself. Okay, great. So there was no need for me to reload again. The page has refreshed by itself. Okay, so it has taken the div tag that I just added without even reloading the page. Fine. So now you may see that before adding div and after adding div, nothing has really happened. What the user sees, the person who's come on the website sees that there's not much of a change. But what will happen is, now let us say you want to place hello training job assistance. You want to place, now let's say I'm removing this div tag here. Okay, and I want to say below hello training, I want to say job assistance or free job assistance. Now this is what I want to do below hello training. I want to place that below. And now what happens when I save this file? So does it load by itself? Okay, I think I'll do a double click, or let me do a refresh here. Yeah. So I've done a refresh here, and you can see that this free job assistance has come to the right side of hello training. Now why is that? Why did it come to the right side? Here I placed it below, then why is it that it came on the right side? The reason is because in HTML, when you place text, no matter wherever you place it, even I'm not sure what happens if I place it like this. So you can see that even these lines have got converted into just one small space here. Okay, so it does not place them one below the other. So if you want to place them one below the other, the way you can do it in HTML is you place it in div element. Okay, div, you can also remember div as division. Okay, division element. And now when I save this and I refresh this particular one here, you can see that it has come below. Okay, so what happens is the div element basically arranges it one below the other. Okay, that's what it does here. So it arranges it one below the other. So training comes on, hello training comes on the top, and free job assistance comes below. Okay, so having said that, I think we will do a little more exploration on div itself today. Now let us do one more thing on div, that is, let us do a div inspect element. Okay, we are trying to do a div inspect element. What is that? Why is that I want to do that? Because see, we are unable to see the div here. We are visually unable to see the div here. There's a way of seeing it, and that can be quite important in when you are building a large website, is when you click on top of one of these elements. In HTML, everything is called an element, a div element. So when you click on one of these elements and you click on inspect, what happens happens is, as I said, it is a little different from the view source. In view source, you see the entire HTML, whereas here you see whichever portion you require. Now, what happens here is you can see exactly the div. For example, when I am taking my cursor on top of hello training in the inspect portion. See, sometimes you may not see inspect over here. Sometimes inspect may come at the bottom. Sometimes inspect may come as a separate window. It is all one and the same. For me, it comes like this. Probably I had made some changes earlier. Maybe that's why. So here you can see there's somewhere there's a pop-up. You can actually remove inspect from here as a separate window itself. But this is a cleaner view because you can really see when you're hovering on top on the left side. So when you come on top of hello training, you will see that it is showing here 839 into 18. Now that's the size of the div. Now why did it become 839? Because that's the size of the window. Okay, that's the whole size of the window, 839 pixels, and 18 is the height, 18 pixels. So that is the div. It has literally taken the entire width of the browser. Okay, that is the div that is there. So in inspect you can see the elements, which you will not be able to see otherwise. Okay, so that's a reminder. I have to wind up my class. So coming below, you can see free job assistance also is 839 by 18. So both the sizes. Now what will happen when I take the cursor on top of body? So you can see that this is the whole body here. Okay, so it is literally, and you can see the value mentioned below, or the size of the body mentioned below, that is 839 into 641. So 839 is the width, 641 is the height. So that's the body. So what will happen if I take on top of head? When I take the mouse cursor on top of the head, you can see that there's nothing getting displayed of the head, because as I said yesterday, head portion does not get displayed. It is basically for the website developer, so it does not get displayed to the person who's using the website. And what will happen if I take on top of HTML? So you will see that the entire area has become blue. The entire HTML basically literally covers the whole area, and you can see that the width and the height has increased a little bit. The width is 855. If you see at the bottom left where it says HTML, you can see that the width has increased a little bit to 855, and the height is also increased. Now you will see a small difference, HTML and body. You will see a small difference, that is a light orange border that is there all through the the page, and that is something that HTML places automatically into this body element, where it creates a small a margin on all the sides, a small gap, so that the display is much more better. Otherwise what will happen is this hello training and free job assistance will go to the corner. It will sit on the corners, and it may not you may not be able to read it correctly. So this body tag gives a small margin on all the sides. Okay, now I will be covering on margin in more detail later, but I want you to understand this, and I want you to understand this using of these inspect elements here, so that you can exactly know what is happening. Now, is this the best way to see a website and inspect? This is one of the good ways. There are of course various other ways through which you can study the website in detail. There is something called Firebug, a small tool that you can add into your browser. So it works more with Firefox. So I used to use that at one point of time, but I realized that this particular inspect tool itself is quite good, and it gives you a good information. There are a few more things I'll just show, and then we'll close the class today. That is there's something called styles here at the bottom. So if you see here at the bottom, there's something called styles. Of course, we will be covering styles in detail in the class. So if you see here in training, style sheets comes from here, CSS, it starts from here. So we are still in div. So we took a little longer time today because I really wanted to give you a good introduction as to what is a website and how it is done, and also that you can just use Notepad, probably the smallest software that might be on your computer, a Notepad itself to create a website. Of course, this is nowhere close to a good website or a decent website, but at least you know now what can be done. Now, what I request all of you to do is, as I said, please invest time on, I would let's say, invest time on, learning programming. Spend at least 8 hours per day on training.rejola.com. Clock your time here. So for example, today you can see I've made 0.31. I strongly recommend that each and every one of you, we have more than 60 members in the group right now. Each and every one of you, please invest at least 8 hours every day. This is your life, your future, and I will be able to help, but only to a certain extent, because as I've told earlier, we are not a training company. We basically want to help someone who is unable to afford training, or who would like to receive guidance without any intention of money. So that is the reason why we started this. So I would strongly recommend that you complete all your levels, level 1, 2, 3 and 4, and become eligible for a job very soon. So please train at least for 8 hours every day. Go through all this. So now you are seeing that the content is, I've just come to Div and I've stopped, and you have seen how I'm learning Div. I'm just going to Google, browsing it and learning, reading and learning. I may even watch YouTube videos of other creators, because if you watch at least 4 or 5 videos about a single topic, you will get a proper 360-degree view of what is happening or what is the topic about. So please spend time. Don't go in my pace. I'm just spending 15 or 20 minutes every day. That is, if somebody really needs absolute basics. But if you already know, or if you've been in the computer science field for quite some time, please learn yourself for 8 hours every day and complete level 1. It should hardly take you about a week or 2 if you really spend time. So I am looking forward to many more members in the group to clock more than 8 hours every single day. So thank you very much. That's it for today, and have a great day of learning. Please like and share the video so that many more members can join the group. Share the group link with them, and my ultimate dream is that we should help at least 1,000 members to find decent jobs before 2021. 1,000 members find decent jobs before 2021. That is December 2021. So let's all work together in making this dream come into a reality. Thank you very much and have a great learning day. Thank you.